just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know there's just 116 days until Christmas 2023. Oh boy, we've got a lot to talk about today with Ahsoka Episode 3. Before we get there, though, there's a few things we have to discuss here at the top. First is, let other folks know that we're here, what we're doing here. We try to have a positive discussion about Star Wars, be critical of what we don't like, and praise the things that we do. We talk about all the things. We talk about books, we talk about the animated shows, live action shows, movies, all of it. So if you guys enjoy what we do here, let other folks know what we're doing. We appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel, we have lots of ways you could do that as well. We have a merch store. You'll see the link to that in the description here. You can pick up some Star Wars Santa merch. Like maybe you want a mug, like that. Maybe you want a mug like that, or maybe you want a mug like this other one. Let me see. Not that one. Here we go. Like this one, right? That one's different. Or a hat. We've got hats. We've got mugs. We've got cups. We've got t-shirts. Got all the things in the merch store. You guys can go check that out. There's even stickers you can go get. And then we also have, of course, here on YouTube, if you want to join as a member, you can do that right easy here. Or Patreon. I want to show you guys something that just happened on Patreon and let you know what we're doing over there. Look, Patreon just added a new feature. It's called Collections. So I could take all of these chapters of the books that I've been covering and put them into a collection. So you don't have to scroll forever to try to find something way back when. Hey, look who's in the chat. We've got Bespin Bulletin, the one and only Bespin Bulletin right there in the chat. Thank you, Bespin. Appreciate you stopping by. And the best way you can support Bespin Bulletin, one of the best. I'll leave it between Bespin and Jason to arm wrestle. Who's the better creator for Star Wars news? I would give the lead to Bespin, but Jason lives closer, so I don't know. So you guys, the best way to support Bespin is go support him on Patreon, and you can get his articles unfiltered and without ads and all of that, and really help him do what he does for this community. But here on our Patreon, I just opened up some collections, and you can see here you've got the Darth Plagueis novel. If you want to go through the Darth Plagueis novel, you just go in this collection. You see there's 32 videos in here, and you can watch through all the way through, starting all the way at the beginning. You go way to the beginning, load more. There's so many, you gotta load all the chapters, and you can get start at the prologue, listen to that, and work your way through the entire Darth Plagueis novel with me, and get my comments at the end. Then I've got other collections that we've created as well. If we go back, we've got the entire Thrawn trilogy from 2017. Here's the 2017 novel. We've got all of those. And starting with this novel, I started covering them different, going through and living or reading some of these chapters, the highlights, and giving my narrative on it. Jason lives closer. I'm still in his basement. Oh no! Oh, Bestman, I had no idea you were still stuck in his basement, getting the meager leftovers that he feeds you through the hole in the wall. That's terrible. That's terrible. We've got to go to Bestman's Patreon. If you support Bestman on Patreon, he can move out of Jason's basement and get his own place. How great would that be? Go support Bestman on Patreon, and he can move out of Jason's basement. You want Bestman to get out of the basement? Go support him on Patreon. That's how you do it. There you go. And then so we've got Thrawn from 2017, Thrawn Alliances and Thrawn Treason. You can go through all those novels together. We keep most of those into the 10 to 15 minute kind of chapters so that you can just listen briefly, get the summary of the chapter, and go all the way through those books together. Also, what I do with these is every single chapter, I put them into in the background of the chapter as I'm reading through. Let me just show you, for example, here with the epilogue. And let me mute this. There's a short intro, and then after the intro, you will see that as soon as it starts going here, let me see if I can speed up. There you go. You can read the entire chapter. You just shut my mouth up, right? You just mute me, and you can read through here. You'll see what I've highlighted, and every single page, every single word of the book is available for you to read on your own if you don't want to hear me yammering about it, or if you want to get my summary, you can do that as well. So that's a great way to support the channel, and you can see we've got tons of content there. Then the last bit of that is that if you are one of our patrons, you support us on Patreon, you can get a link to join in these live streams. When we do community live streams here together, I post the link to join the live stream right in our Patreon, and you can join today's show. You can do that as also one of our YouTube members. And if you use Discord and you link your Patreon and your YouTube accounts to Discord, there's a whole process for doing that. It's a little bit of a hassle, but once you get it done, then Discord will recognize you're one of our patrons, and you will get some hidden channels in our Discord that nobody else has access to as well. And then you can join us once a month where we have a Zoom call. You can come on the Zoom call and visit as well. And we could talk about anything there. We talk about the weather. We could talk about some leaks that I can't talk about here on YouTube. And we talk about whatever the topic is that you guys would like to discuss. So let me get caught up with the chat. I see some fantastic people in the chat. I see Nikki there, Fort Coachella, Maria Espino, who is working on a fantastic fan film for us. Can't wait to see that. I think it's coming soon. Let's see. Let me get to the top of the chat and get caught up here. Let's see. Oh, that's the other thing is you see that I set the chat to subscribers only. You can join the chat, our discussion we're having here, just by subscribing to the channel. That costs you nothing. That's literally free. You just click a button, click the subscribe, and you can join the chat here. The reason we do that isn't to be mean. It isn't to boost the channel numbers, although that's a side benefit. It's to keep the bots out, because the bots don't subscribe. So when we do that, you get rid of the nonsense in the chat, or at least the bulk of it. I can't control the nonsense from Nerd Mafia, for example, because he's not a bot, but he's still a nuisance. What are you going to do? The guy's in the chat. He's there. We let him live. He's okay. I'm joking, because Nerd Mafia is a great guy. He's a great guy, and I talk to him on a somewhat regular basis. So good to see you, my friend. Jedi Jin is here for Coachella. Yes, as I mentioned, the Sabersmith. Hello. Good to see you, Sabersmith. Good to have you here in the chat. We got Mr. Alvarado. Good to see you as well. Let's see, what else do we have? Brett Phillips. Happy Thursday indeed. Happy Friday Eve, as some people like to say. The real Ben is here. You know what? Real Ben, one of these days, we're going to get together and I'm going to have him come on to one of our streams as well. Good guy. Good guy. NPC Maria, there we go. Who else do we have here? NPC Epic Battles. Good to see you as well. And there's Nikki. There's Nikki. Good to see you, my friend. Absolutely adore her. Yeah, Florida. Nikki's one of our Florida friends, and Nikki and lots of others. Matt Risman. Matt Risman's getting ready to take vacation, and I don't know where he's going. Where do people who live in Florida go when they go on vacation? Not Florida, or do they stay there in Florida? Where do you go? But Matt Risman, they're in Florida, as well as several other friends of ours who are down there that we've gone down and visited with. I did see. Oh, there's Maria. Nikki, you were on fire last night. You must be. You hollered so much about Ahsoka for several shows. Oh, Nikki was doing the rounds yesterday, huh? I missed him. I missed them. My daughter came in from Kansas City. Kayla came in from Kansas City, and we went bowling last night. We all went up to Mansfield, Ohio, a bit north of us here, and went bowling last night. Had dinner out. It was a great time. Kayla is today up at Cedar Point. She went up there to visit some friends while they're here in town. So we've been having some fantastic family time. And this Saturday we're going to celebrate our daughter Shay's marriage. She's going to be doing that Saturday evening. People are all coming in for that. Let's see what else. Let's see what else do we have here. Formuloni. Nikki is great. We were chatting yesterday. She's wonderful. Was it yesterday? The other day. Just the other day. I lose track. Hey, Astromech Jeremy. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. I know that Astromech Jeremy is absolutely loving the Ahsoka show. We've been with Chopper. Chopper's got to be one of the top droids in all of Star Wars. And we were chatting with Astromech Jeremy just a little while back about having a Guardians of the Whills show. We do that when we have a predetermined topic. A predetermined topic with pre-scheduled guests. And we kind of fell into a summer schedule and got out of it. But we'll be back to doing Guardians of the Whills at this time on a Thursday. And we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of Star Wars droids with our good friend Astromech Jeremy. And so for those of you that aren't familiar, Mount Rushmore has 4 U.S. presidents on it. So if you were to pick a Mount Rushmore of Star Wars droids, you only get 4. Who are your 4 droids and why? And I'm absolutely sure, well, at least I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure Chopper would make the list. He's got to be on that. He's got to be on the Mount Rushmore of droids, right? We'll get Astromech Jeremy onto a stream and talk about that, because it starts to get difficult when you take. You can't leave R2 and C3PO off of there. They take half of the list right off the bat. Then who you left with? You only got 2 more you can add. 2 more droids. Does Hu Yang make it? Certainly a lot of these folks gonna fall short of making Mount Rushmore. It's got to be tough. Hey, Matt Cave Gaming, good to see you, my friend. There's another one of our Florida friends. Vanessa is here. Good to see you, Vanessa. Jedi Jen, she's driving and lurking. Very good. Come visit Florida soon. We go to Florida about every 2 to 3 years. So we will be coming back to Florida before too awful long. Certainly not often enough, I understand. Nikki, I go somewhere colder. Yes, New York or California is where love Cedar Point. Yeah, Cedar Point's a great place up on Lake Erie. It's a good deal. Um, who else do we have here? Who else? I know that Jedi Mike was in the green room, but he had to step out. We'll get Jedi Mike in a minute. But if you guys want to join the show today, you can find the link there in Discord or Patreon, YouTube. It's all those places. Let's see. Oh, and when I was down there and talking to Yadi. Yadi is fantastic. She's wonderful, and she likes to go up into Georgia. There's some mountains in Georgia she likes to go visit, and absolutely beautiful. She showed me some pictures they took up there. So there's one place. It's north of Florida. Some folks go. I see. I started the droid R2 greater than Chopper. Okay, yeah. I don't know that you could dispute that, right? Hey, Nick's here, one of Bespin's gang, right? Yeah, Matt Cave. There's Matt Cave's R2D2, C3PO, Chopper, and K2. That's a good list. Chopper and K2. Yeah, it's a Sophie's choice. You're right. I know, Astromech Jeremy. I've given you time to do your homework. We'll have to get that scheduled so that we can we can discuss it. Will Morgan over from Meta Egg here in the chat. Hu Yang makes it. Listen, Floridians don't worry until it hits Category 4. What about BB-8? Does BB-8 make the list? I don't know. BB-8's kind of tough because he's only been in the sequels. We don't really have a long history with him. He's a great droid. I really enjoy, I really like BB-8, but when you're cut down to 4, and I know 3 that make my list, does BB-8 make it? I don't know. I have to think on that for a while. Am I excited for college football? Am I excited? Oh, yes. Sam is excited for the college football season, for sure. For sure. I just unplugged myself. I just unplugged myself from the audio. Yes, Ohio State opens with Indiana just on Saturday. So very excited for the college football season. I'm excited to see this new Ohio State Buckeye team and how well they look on the field. Certainly Indiana is not going to show us a whole lot, but it's at least the season's getting started. Hu Yang cruises the world between worlds in a TARDIS. There you go. That's a great tie-in to, of course, Doctor Who and the voice of Doctor Who. Mike Yaney. Mike hasn't been to Cedar Point and only lives 3 hours away. Mike only lived 2 hours away, and I've been there quite a bit because my daughter worked there before she moved to Kansas City. Deborah Young, look who's here in the chat. Deborah Young, she said it's been a while. Hope all's well. We'll try to make more shows. Mama Bear from EBN. Well, God bless you, Mama Bear. And you know who? What else? Mama Bear. She got into the predictions game this last week, and she did quite well. Deborah Young almost made it to the Wall of Fame, if I remember right. I got to go pull up the. I got to pull up the Wall of Fame to see. I think she fell just one short. I think she missed it by just 1 point. I got to pull it up here. And actually, I posted it in Discord. Let me go look on Discord. That'll be the fastest way to find it. Go to the Ahsoka spoilers and scroll up just a little bit. Let's see. Where is Mama Bear there? Deborah. Oh, no. You know what? Hold on. Where is it? Well, episode 3. Deborah. I saw your name, Deborah. I know you're in here. I know you're in here. Oh, did you not play this week? No, you got 6.5. You got a 6.5 because in your bonus point. Let me. Well, if you watched the live stream where we did it the other day, Normally, there's 10 yes and no questions, and plus a bonus point. So Deborah had 6 of the 10 correct. And then on the bonus point, she put 3 predictions in there. She got 2 of the 3 correct. I was like, Deborah, oh, only put 1 in. Mama Bear, just 1 prediction in the bonus, and then you get the full point. And normally I don't even give half points. But I was like, she's such an awesome person. I'm going to go ahead and give her a half a point because those predictions were fantastic, and you deserve to at least get some reward out of it. Did a great job. Thank you for the super chat, my friend Deborah. Absolutely wonderful, Mama Bear. $10 super chat. God bless you for that. Thank you so much. Tremendous for the channel and for what I do here. Thank you. Did you miss the show where I went over the predictions? Oh, yes, I did that yesterday. Wednesday, this time, we go through the predictions and score all of them, right? Let's see what else we got. This is 113 behind on the chat. Let me see. I can't be that far behind, right? I can't be that far behind. There's something else I want to bring up. And since Mama Bear's here from over at EBN, we got to bring up a thing here because I had a chat yesterday morning with our mutual friend, Matt Risman. Matt Risman. These shills. Yes. So over at, let me see. Hold on. So over on EBN, Coach and, hey, Uncle Bob. I call him Uncle Bob. Bob's your uncle. It's an English kind of saying. Haven't seen you in a while, Bob. Good to see you. Oh, Santa's doing just fine. Doing just fine. Let's see. I was talking with Matt Risman, and Coach and Nick rated the episode 3 of Ahsoka. I think Nick gave it a 7, and Coach gave it an 8. And Matt pinged me and said, "Boy, you ought to see the comments over at EBN." I'm like, "Oh, I haven't been over there. I don't know." I did catch their synopsis of it later and their scores. I caught it on the replay. But Matt Risman and I had a great discussion. And when it comes to opinions, we all have different tastes. We all have different likes. And I always love to use food as an example because Santa loves cookies. But no, use food as an example because we all have different tastes. There's things that people love and other of us can't stand. And I used the example of ice cream with Matt yesterday. I said, with ice cream, there's clearly the original vanilla bean ice cream, and let's not mix that up with any of these frozen yogurts and other nonsense. Those pretenders, those things that aren't real ice cream but pretend to be ice cream. No, those aren't real. The only ice cream that counts is the original vanilla ice cream. If you like anything other than vanilla ice cream, you're not a purist. You're an ice cream imitator. That's who you are. No. Jeez. No. And like, what if you like chocolate ice cream better? Because chocolate ice cream is the best modification of ice cream since the beginning of time. Chocolate ice cream is clearly superior to vanilla ice cream. So if you are a chocolate ice cream lover, you clearly have a more developed palate. You definitely belong in part of the ice cream lovers community. You fit right in. But don't get me started on those people that like frozen yogurt, because that's just wrong. You can't like frozen yogurt. You can't be my friend. We can't hang out because ice cream is true and frozen yogurt is false. No, it's stupid, right? Anybody making those kind of arguments, it's nonsense, right? A lot of people like what they like. I've got my brother-in-law doesn't like chocolate in any form. He just doesn't like chocolate. It doesn't like it. I think that's crazy. Who doesn't like chocolate? That's weird. But he doesn't. Let him live. My wife can't stand bananas. She can't stand the smell of bananas. She can't stand artificial banana. She can't stand banana in any shape, or form. But that's fine. I love bananas. That's great. And the way we get within this Star Wars community is much like arguing about ice cream, isn't it? Like, if you like the original trilogy, you're a true Star Wars fan. If you like the prequel trilogy, depends on who you ask. They'll say, "Oh, you're a more refined fan of Star Wars. You're a true Star Wars fan if you like the prequel trilogy." Oh, wait, you like the sequels? Oh, you're not a real Star Wars fan. You don't count. You're 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 a shill. You are a terrible Star Wars fan because you like the wrong things. That's just wrong. You can't like that. If you like it, then we can't be friends. You're crazy. Like, that's the nonsense we get into in this community, and it's insane. And the coach and Nick had to deal with that yesterday. You guys, like, let them live. You can love what you love. It's all good. It's all good. And for me, I like the sequels better than the prequels. I know some of you right now are fuming mad. You're like, no way, Santa. You're not a real Star Wars fan. Hey, that's me. I like it. And my hottest take of all of the hot takes is that I like Rey better than any other movie character. I like her better than Anakin. I like her better than Luke. I like her better than Han and Chewie. Rey is my favorite movie Star Wars character. Okay. You don't like that? Oh, that's fine. you can like the prequels. That's all good. Can't stay for the show, but here tomorrow. But she'll be here tomorrow. Mumbo Jimbo, thank you for the $2 super chat, my friend. Thank you so much for the support. Yeah, so you guys, it's all good. It's all good. Sam the Sim says, I give episode 3 a B minus. And I like how Nick and Coach put them into like a grade. Like, if you, in school, an 80% out of 100 is a B, 90% an A, 70% is a C. And so if you take that and you put it into rankings, like I give it a 7 out of 10, or I give it an 8 out of 10, equate it to a grade like that. And that's what I would say. For me, episode 3, I landed at an 8. I started with a 7.5, but after rewatching it and thinking about it, I bumped it a half a point. And I knocked it an entire point down. Because of its duration. And we could talk about that here in a minute. But I think it could have been... just ranted about ice cream. I did. But it's to prove a point, right? It's to make a point that you guys, it's opinions, right? We all have opinions, and nobody's is made invalid because they disagree with you. You know, nobody's is made invalid just because you don't agree, right? And it's the same way with movies. But I dropped episode 3 an entire point because of duration. It felt like it needed to. The episode 4 that's going to be next week is reportedly in that 40-minute time range. I think it's 37 something with the end credits taken out. If we take those 37 minutes or so and we add it to the 33, 34 minutes of this past episode, it would make it over an hour. Well, I'm fine with that. Oh yeah, let's do it. Put them together into one episode, and I think it would have finished that story. But I understand why they split it in half. It keeps it under an hour, and it gives them the episode count that they were looking for this season. Still, I knock them a point. So I knocked it down to an 8 from a 9. to an 8. And that's how that went. Oh, look, Yachty's here. My friend from Florida. She must have heard me talking about her and vacationing up into Georgia. Good to see you, Yachty. Yeah, Maria. Ray is awesome. Sorry, people. Uh-oh. Maria, you're canceled. You're canceled. Maria, terrible. Terrible opinion. You don't count. What is it? That's how people are. She need better writing. Yes, and Maria's taken care of it in her story, providing Ray with a more developed story arc. Yeah. C is supposed to be average. That's right. That's right. Nicky Dicky, 5 an average. In what case? 7's considered median average, right? Yes. So in a grading system, A is excellent, like 90% or above. B is above average, 80% to 90%. C is called average, 70 to 80. D would be below average, it's your 60 to 70. Barely, right? The term I've heard, D will get you degrees. D's get degrees, right? You'll pass. You'll get your degree. You'll make it, but just barely. And then some people use E's or F's for those that are below 60%. So if you fall below 60%, you're failing, right? You're not passing the course. So I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8. Let's see what do we have. Maria, 5 is average for me, 100%. 5 is in the middle. It's halfway to 10. Right. Has anybody heard from Risman? Kay, I heard from him yesterday, and in fact, I got a message from him this morning. Matt Risman gave me a point this morning, and it's 7:53 a.m. Eastern. He said, "Why is the opening helmet sequence Merrick's helmet is in a blue light? It's blue, and the Mandalorian helmet could be Sabine's, may or may not be Sabine's, is in a red light." You know how in the opening sequence they showed those helmets and they alternate colors and it's kind of like a strobe kind of effect. Merrick's is blue and potentially Sabine's is red. Why? So yeah, I heard from Matt at 8 o'clock this morning. I haven't heard from him since. Let's see. Episode 5 will be 45 minutes without credits. Yes, a little more than 45 minutes. I think it's 46 something. Yeah, math is hard. Yeah, Maria, I'm always canceled. And I know it's a me too, Maria. It happens all the time. Nikki's picking on me. That's great. That's great. Yachty, I did like the episode after a rewatch, 7.5. Yachty's a big animation fan, and when you take characters from animation to live action, you can make her grumpy. In fact, we went to the Indiana Comic Convention, and I teased her the entire weekend about making animated characters into live action. You can make her grumpy really fast if you don't do it right. She just wants to, if you're going to take her beloved animated characters and put them in live action, you better do it right, or Yachty will let you know. She's fantastic. Maria, people hate me because there are parts of the sequels I really loved, even though I agree with most of the parts they don't like. I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Oh, that's great. Yeah, pick the things you like. I do that with Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones. I absolutely hate that movie. It's terrible. It's the worst Star Wars of all the Star Wars, right? Attack of the Clones. Terrible. I can't. It's bad. But, there are parts of it that are good. There are parts that are undeniably good. And you ought to at least take those. And over time, I've learned, like, when I watch Attack of the Clones, I'm still like, when they're the animated C-3PO in the droid factory is terrible. The CG in that is absolutely unwatchable. And the storyline there with changing C-3PO's head for a B-1 battle droid is dumb. It's the worst dumb of all the Star Wars. It's terrible. And what now? R2 can fly? They fly now? Since when? Like, when do astromech droids fly? You make me grumpy real fast when I watch Attack the Clones. But you know what? I can watch it and I can take the things out of it that are really good. I can. So it's good. Merrick is 3PO. Hey, we'll talk about Merrick here in just a little bit. Yeah. You guys are great. You guys in the chat are absolutely fantastic. We're having a good time. Uh, I know the Bad Batch. I know Yachty. Hey, there's Matt Risman. You say his name 3 times, he shows up. He made it. Good to see you, Matt. And I know we mentioned you before. You're getting ready to take vacation. You head north. Where do you go when you go on vacation? You going down to visit with our friends in the Orlando area? You're going to go visit Nikki and Yachty and our friends Vanessa in the Orlando area. You headed north. You're going to go visit Mike Porter over in Georgia. What's the deal? Where are you headed, Matt? Uh, well, Nikki, I know. It was that joke you told me, over a year ago about Nancy Pelosi. I was like, oh, Nikki, I can't. I just, like, Nikki almost killed me. It was terrible. I laughed so hard. I was crying. I couldn't control myself. I was worthless for the rest of the day. That's and it's not a joke that you could tell on YouTube. Let me tell you that. Nikki, naughty. Taking parts of movies, even if you don't like them, it's still something good to do. Exactly. My wife tells me I walk around with rose-colored glasses, right, with my head in the sky. She's looking at the rainbows and everything's bright and sunny and cheerful. I don't see the rain and the clouds. It's a reputation I have in my family. Uh, he's following the storm to Bermuda. Okay. Very good. Very good. Cruised in Orlando for a couple days. Oh, fantastic, Matt. Fantastic. Name a couple things you loved about the prequels. Dare ya? Oh, no. Oh, Maria. Why did you put me on the spot like that? A couple of things I loved about the prequels. I'll tell you what, I absolutely loved the Battle of Mustafar, right? The duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin, the duel of the fates. It's a fantastic lightsaber fight. Part of it's dumb, right? Part of it's dumb, but the bulk of it, fantastic. I don't like them swirling the sabers at each other for 5 minutes. That's terrible. Like, that's dumb. They should have cut that. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's fantastic. The other things I liked about the prequels, well, you got to like the duel with our good friend Darth Maul in Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace has actually got a lot of redeemable scenes in it. That being one, is really good. What else? I have come around on Count Dooku. Count Dooku is most underutilized. They really should have shown more Dooku. His story, overall story arc. You go read Dooku Jedi Lost and read some of the additional content around Dooku through his career from Jedi Master to leaving the Jedi Order. Count Dooku, he has so much potential. Wish that they had explored that more. Something else from the prequels. A couple things. I'm running out of things. I'm running out of things, Maria. I'm gonna have to work on it. I'm gonna have to work on that. That's what I'm doing with Ahsoka. Did not like the last episode at all, but love the Purgle and Chopper. Yeah, there you go. Did I like episode 3? Yes, Jedi Joe. I gave it an 8 out of 10, a B. If you use the same kind of grading scale that Coach and Nick did, I give it a B. Without the prequel trilogy, we'd have a very small universe and 3 planets. Well, there's some things I'm still quite angry at George Lucas about with the prequels. George Lucas could have made everybody, and I mean everybody, more happy by doing a sequel to Return of the Jedi. He done his sequels instead of prequels, and he had carried on the story of Luke, Han, Leia, following the Return of the Jedi. And had he stuck with his original idea that Luke had a twin sister who was somewhere else, not Leia, had he stuck with that original idea and then had Luke go find his sister, and she's in another conflict that they then have to get into to save her. You could have had him redeem Anakin, his dad. He could have redeemed Vader, and then he could have saved his sister. Luke Skywalker could have been the biggest hero in hands down. Hands down. He should have done it. He should have done the sequels instead of the prequels. And had he done the sequels, we would have explored another part of the galaxy where Luke's sister was and what was happening there. Would have been so much better. Coming to Tennessee anytime soon, the Sabersmith. In fact, I am. I just got news earlier. I've been accepted as a presenter for the International Santa Convention, going to be held in Memphis, Tennessee next spring. I will be a presenter. I'll be conducting a course there for other Santa Clauses, Mrs. Clauses, and the like, and down in Memphis, Tennessee next spring. Memphis, if you're in the Memphis area, more information of that coming later. Right there, we go. Oh, you can see the Wall of Fame below. I've been continued on. This is page 2 of the Wall of Fame. But if you do well enough on the Wall of Fame on a weekly prediction, we accumulate the scores through the season, and you can make it onto the season leaderboard. And the season leaderboard right now, you see Baymax, Brian Stone, CCG, Corlo Rin, Brett Phillips, Jedi Master Fox, and Seth Nico are on the season leaderboard. That's because they have as many correct answers or more than Santa. They're doing a great job. You can make it onto the weekly Wall of Fame just by participating in a prediction. But then after that, then if you keep playing, you can make it onto the season. Oh, Jedi Mike got pulled into a meeting and then into another meeting. And so Jedi Mike is, he's out. He's out. No worries, my friend. No worries. So let's see what else we got. So you guys, this is open for all of you to join. Yeah, I'm going to do something I don't normally do. Right, I've gone about 45 minutes here. Where can we view the results? You can view them on Discord. You can view them on Discord. And let me, in fact, since we've got a little bit of time here, and screen, let me pull up Discord here, and we'll go to the channel, and I'm going to copy the link for the show. I've given time for our members and our patrons to join. You guys, if the rest of you want to join, anybody else, all you have to do is come into our Discord, and here's the link. Community call-in. There we go. There's the link to join the show. It's in Discord, and I'll show it on the screen right now. So in Discord, we have, like all of them, all the Discords, we have different channels. And you can see right here under Star Wars Santa, there's the link to join into the Streamlabs, into the stream right there. You can join right there. And then we have lots of channels. This is our channel for members only. If you're one of our supporters, you can get access to this members only channel. Guardians of the Wills topics, we have those. And then if you keep going down, we have lots of spoiler channels. in the Ahsoka spoilers, if you scroll up just a little bit, you'll see here's our episode 3 Wall of Fame. Baymax, KG, Nikki onto the Wall of Fame. Ethan Froen, Ethan made it onto the Wall of Fame. Very excited. Leia Rose, who's here in the chat. TVC Mackin, all those made it. They got 8 or more made it onto the Wall of Fame. And then the here's our season leaderboard. Season leaderboard right there. You can see it. And then I put the runners up. So here's you see folks that got 7 points. We had a lot of people. Nerd Mafia here just missed it by 1. Star Wars Fitz missed it by 1. There's Debbie. There's Mama Bear right there, 6.5. Dawn Basham 6. So we had a number of people in the runners up. And then for our season leaderboard, you had to get 24 more to get onto the list. Brian Kelly, Jumpin' Jamie, RF Gaming, Timo, Don Basham, just a point or 2 behind. They're right in the running to make it onto the season leaderboard as well. So, hey, Matt Risman's giving you the chat, the link to Discord, and it's in the description here. So if you guys want to join today's show, you can do that just by clicking on Discord, joining Discord, making your way to the Star Wars Santa channel in there, and clicking on that link. Next thing you know, you'll be on the show. Just like that. So you guys, it's that easy. It's that easy. We'll give just a few more minutes and we'll call it a day. We're supposed to talk about episode 3 today. We haven't talked about it hardly at all. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I saw Star Wars Theory gave it a 9 out of 10. Again, Coach gave it an 8. Even Nick gave it a 7. Hey, there's Maria. Good to have you in our Discord. Thanks for joining, Maria. We had a lot of people score it relatively high, and there's Yachty's got to go do some work. All right, Yachty, thanks for being here. There's positives and negatives, right? Oh, Nick downgraded it to a 6. He gave in to peer pressure. It's like, my friends don't like me. I gave it a 7. I'll downgrade it to a 6. You like me better now? No, I'm teasing. I'm giving Nick just a little bit hard time. It's okay. It's okay. I would say that some people have not liked the Ahsoka in space. Ahsoka in space. Look, Ahsoka in space is Rebels. It's Clone Wars. If you've been following some of the, there you go, Nikki. Exactly. That's why ratings are pointless, right? She didn't like it at all, but give her a good nap in a Snickers bar. Nikki will wake up and she'll be in a better mood, and she'll give it a 10 out of 10. All Nikki needs is a nap and a Snickers, and all of a sudden, it's the best Star Wars of all time. Again, kidding. Probably not. Probably not. But Ahsoka in space, that was, some people complain. Look, it's very Star Warsy. I saw Nikki complaining about how many times did you shoot the spaceship and it's still, flying along. Well, they have shields. They absorb the laser blast. They absorb the energy from the lasers until the shields run out of energy, and then so apparently Ahsoka's ship has very strong shield generators that absorbed a lot of impact before it finally gave out, right? So that's some of the things people have complained about. There's the Eye of Sion. You guys, we got clarification about the Eye of Sion. It is not a portal, right? It is not a portal that once they activate it, it transports you somewhere else. It is rather a big old hyperspace ring, like you saw before, right? No shields, no weapons. It was disabled. Well, yeah, after it got hit, right? After it got hit with the turbo lasers, took down the shields and weapons. Yeah, but it for a while it was absorbing it, but then and Sabine was even using the lasers, right? So she was shooting, but yeah, eventually it gave out. Eventually it gave out, but it was fine for a while until it wasn't. Then no. And at that point, when Ahsoka in space, yeah, at that point it had no shields, no lasers, but then they were shooting at Ahsoka, and that was her idea. She went out there to distract them. Hey, shoot at me over here. Remember Jurassic Park when he lights the flares? Hey, chase me, and like that. Right? She's getting their attention. That was it. They need the ghost to be attached to a Purgle to get to Ezra. Oh, I've seen stuff like that, Sam. No, I think what they're going to do is take the Eye Sion, this giant hyperspace ring. They're going to take it to Thrawn. We see in some of the trailers that he's going to be in the Eye Sion. I think it's going to attach to the Chimera. I think it's going to be that. Yeah, Nikki. If they would have shot the ship, Ahsoka would have died too. Well, they wanted to shoot Ahsoka, right? Just too unbelievable. Like, yeah, she did. She took Rey's move. She did the little jump over the top and hit it with the lightsabers. Fantastic. That's, that's great. Again, your opinion might vary from mine. So got a lot of kind of feedback over that. But I think that Eye Sion is going to be a hyperspace ring for the Chimera to bring it back with Thrawn. Uh-oh. I knew if I stayed on long enough, I would get some riffraff in the chat or in the back room. And sure enough, we do. Are you ready? Is he ready? Here we go. There he is. Nerd Mafia. You're not driving today.
Nah, got a little break.
How about that?
Trying to figure out, can I do the virtual background?
I don't know. I don't know what you got going on. So episode 3. Episode 3. What are you thinking, my friend?
For my predictions or for the episode?
For the episode.
No, it was all right. I was kind of hoping we'd get a little bit farther, and maybe that was just me not tempering expectations.
Yeah, me too.
It oh, there we go. I think I got this. Come on. Trying to get this to work.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
Hey, fantastic.
All right.
Very good.
So, no, I enjoyed it. I've got like some good and bad takes on this series as a whole so far. I mean, like good. I'm thrilled that we're hanging out with these characters again. Nikki mentioned it already in the chat too. Like Chopper is awesome. The Purgles. This basically just is the time frame that a lot of people want to be in right now. Hanging out with these specific characters. Some of the bad, I hate the New Republic like with a passion. It's just it's ridiculous. On top of that too, I've been waiting for Ahsoka to kind of like open up a little bit more, be a little less stoic. Let's get some personality out of her. Yeah. And I don't know if that's just like they're trying to depict like a more mature Ahsoka and less like lively, but
yeah, I'm with you there because I told my wife and I told my family like Ahsoka is overall my favorite character in all of Star Wars. In all of Star Wars, like in the movies it's Rey. In all of Star Wars, it's Ahsoka. But right. So my wife's watching the show and then it's like, why would you like her? Where's the point of Ahsoka that makes her likable? Right. She's not there, right? And she's certainly dealing with some trauma, some tragedy, and all of that from the Clone Wars. Post Clone Wars, when she ran into Anakin there and learned that Vader is Anakin, Anakin's Vader. Well, certainly that's a big part of it, but is she's not the character that I could tell my wife, this is why I love Ahsoka. Yeah,
Right.
I need her to make that turn. I need to make the turn. She just hasn't made it yet.
Yeah, she's supposed to be Snips, right? So where's
Yeah,
what happened to Snips?
yeah. Well, and the hero, the hero that you can love, who's you know putting her heart and soul on the line and and fighting for the better.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So we don't see it, not yet. And I saw one of the complaints was if she's piloting the ship in that battle, she's taking directions from Sabine. Hey, I need you to turn this way or that way, and she's taking some direction from Hu Yang, saying, "Hey, I need you to get closer to get this." Right? Where's the where's the energy? Where's Ahsoka? Yeah,
Right, and like even from Sabine, I think we're starting to get her opened up a little bit more. Like the most attitude I think we got out of her was just like her soundtrack playing while she was on her rider in the first episode. Um, but at the same time, I think they're handling that whole like situation with her being apprentice to Ahsoka like very well, because I think people were worried about that at the beginning, but they're doing it the right way, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of people that like have been down on Star Wars lately be not so down. Like Theory's loving this show,
yeah,
from what I'm
yeah.
seeing, and that's always a good thing to see. Some of the people that haven't been as into it, like a little bit more on board with the things they're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I've like, and that's why I brought up Coach and Nick, right,
Hmm.
over at EBN. They've been having a real hard time with Disney Plus Star Wars, and
Right.
post Mando 2 has been really off for them and my friend X-Wing, and there's lots of folks who have been like, "No, man, what happened? Like the wheels just came off the bus, and it's not good." And to see them enjoying it more and starting to the ratings starting to climb for them is a good thing. I think it's
Hmm.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I said it in your chat like yesterday, I think too. This has been the hardest show for me to predict. Like I'm even like struggling just to find like what I want to do with content wise on it. So I think that's actually a good thing, because I'm just kind of like feeling it and like watching along with everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we know certain things. Are you staying away from the leaks and spoilers?
Yeah, like I'm not mad if I find stuff out.
Okay. Well, no, I just know like we had some broad sweeps of it, and I'll stay away from the Reddit stuff because um, some of that might be too much. But
Right.
and it may not be accurate too, but we know some broad sweeps. Like the first 4 episodes were supposed to be in this space, like the regular Star Wars space. The last 4 episodes were supposed to be in that new galaxy. Now we've seen where the pointer to it. So the last 4 episodes are supposed to be there. And then Bespin, who was here in the chat, told us specifically about episode 5. Episode 5 is where we're supposed to see a bunch of stuff with Anakin. Great, that's super exciting. So we sort of have these these story points that we know, the first 4, and then when you start to look at the trailer content, you're like, oh, well, all right, the shot with Thrawn, that's going to be in the last 4. The stuff without Thrawn that looks like it's here, that would be in the first 4. And so you can kind of gauge where those scenes are going to be as a whole. And now as we get further, next week's episode 4. And so if what we learned from making Star Wars and Bespin is accurate, then we know that, okay, got a good idea what's going to happen next week to a large degree. And then after that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's, from what everybody's saying, it's going to pick up and go nuts once we get to episode 5, and we're slowly just kind of cruising to get there. But
Yeah, Josh's theory about the Yuzong, Vong, and Grisk, I'm not with Josh 100%. He's. I think I've said this. I think he hit the blinkers too hard. But I do think that they are opening up to bring in perhaps the Rakata. The Rakata warriors might make their way in. That seems to be on the table. Not so sure about the Yuzan Vong, but I will say that it does, at least showing there are other galaxies and open the potential for other galaxies, does give us the potential for a Yuzan Vong sometime. If not, now, perhaps post sequel trilogy, post, they could come into play. And the Grisk have been, and you just read the Thrawn trilogy.
Right.
The Grisk have already been into the Empire. So they're like now. The Grisk could absolutely be brought into the story anytime.
Yeah, that would be, what would be fun is if the New Republic wasn't like terrible. And they actually can come to an agreement with Thrawn and be like, all right, you know what? Let's put a pause on this and let's go after him. That would be really cool. But
well, that's the point. Like, the New Republic is terrible, and that's why Thrawn's going to say this is unacceptable. You guys suck. Man,
I think that could actually go towards like helping out like the Thrawn like we see as from like reading me in the book.
Yeah,
make them like kind of like more logical.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. I would love it if they did that. And they actually got Thrawn to like say like, hey, like I don't like you, but I need you to help me fight these guys in your space. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and be like, you guys are being really, really dumb. Like, you're decommissioning, you're taking apart all of your strength, and you're making yourselves weak for an aggressor. Somebody's going to come in here, and you guys are not going to be prepared. And you're being super, super dumb, thinking that just because the Empire's been reduced to, factions and small little fiefdoms, doesn't mean that all is good in the world. There's bad out there, and that's what he says in the novels, right? He says there are things that are truly evil, and they must be defeated. And I could totally see Thrawn coming back at the end, based on what we've heard, coming back at the end and saying, something's coming. It's really bad. And you've got to get this, fixed. And they'll be like, no, you got to go away. You're bad. He's like,
I do have two outside the box theories going on too right now in my head, just trying to formulate. But I came across like one on Facebook from like a meme, right?
Okay.
You know how the whole Merrick like werewolf background, they said knight that became a werewolf. They pointed out like similarities between his hilt and Kanan's hilt. And then even, like the facial structure and Kanan. So it's like, what if this is actually like a zombie Kanan? Which I don't think that's really going to be a thing, but it sounded like a pretty cool idea. Just in my head.
Well, and there's the Star Killer ones, right? Sam Witwer talking about Star Killer from back in the day, and so on and so forth. And then similarities to the voice and the video game. So people are like leading into the Star Killer. And I keep remembering something Jason Ward told us a long time ago, is they are not using characters, stories, stuff from the EU, but they will borrow concepts or things from them.
Right.
So you're not going to get a retelling of Heir to the Empire, for example. Okay. But we've seen Mount Tantus. We've seen little bits and pieces here and there. So might they bring in some of these things? Might you see something that's Star Killer-ish without being Star Killer? And might that be Morok?
Maybe. I mean, it's got to be something, right? Because otherwise, why is he there? So.
Yeah. Brandon says, I'd like Tony to write material for Thrawn instead of Dave. No, I want Timothy Zahn to write Thrawn content, not Dave.
Right, that would be nuts.
Yeah, it's like Dave saying you can't do Ahsoka without me. Zahn should have the same respect for Thrawn. You can't do Thrawn without me, and I'll do the story. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I'll agree, not Dave, but I disagree on who. Yeah.
My other crazy outside the box theory, though, if you were in Sheev's watch party, you'll know exactly what it is. But we're watching episode 3, right? And Jason Sundula shows up.
Yep.
And at first, everybody's worried about just the hair. Like, oh, that's not green. Wait, it's green. But if you really look at this kid, and maybe it's just the casting, just however they did it, his complexion, his skin tone, everything, it looks a whole hell of a lot more like Ezra than it does Kanan. And we couple that in with the fact that we never actually saw Kanan and Hera do the deed in the animated series. And also we got Ezra pointing out to Sabine that she's actually more of a sister to him. I'm just saying.
In your TV Y7, whatever, we have one episode that's MA. Keep your children away. We got to see them do the deed.
It kind of sounds like Ezra stole the bag from Kanan. I'm just saying. It was like what?
No. But another. Jeez. No. But I will throw out that.
One more point too.
Go ahead.
You notice that Jason's last name is not Jarrus, right? It's Syndulla. Almost like they're hiding something. Just saying, maybe.
Well, he doesn't have Leku either. He doesn't have Leku either. Are you really sure that Hera's the mom? Maybe it's Sabine. It's Sabine, and here you go. It's Sabine and Ezra's secret love child that Hera is raising as the grandmother, as her own child. That happens. People have to raise their grandkids as their own kids. So there you go. I'll give you it's Ezra and Sabine's love child, and that Hera is raising it as her own.
I like
How about that?
Zeb's love child better.
Jeez. Yeah, where's Maury? We need Maury in Star Wars now. No. Jeez. Sabine and Zeb.
Just saying, be an interesting little ripple there to the story, right?
No. No. But I saw the Black Series Ezra was released this week. Did you see it?
Yeah.
He looks a little bit different. He's been updated. He's got some scars on his face and things like that. But one of the points of feedback is he's still wearing the same thing he was wearing when he was yeeted out by the Purgle. The dude's wearing the same clothes for 11 years. Like,
maybe he wants his kid to recognize him from the pictures. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying.
Dude needs some new clothes. There's got to be something. I don't think you can read too much into that Black Series figure at the end of the day, right? It's funny. Will Morgan, because when you're young in Star Wars, you think you're right. When you get old, you realize you were the problem. Yeah. Yeah. Even Taylor Swift acknowledged, I'm the problem. It's me. Yeah.
I gotta tell you though, I'm staring at that Ghost HasLabs.
Yeah.
If it wasn't $500, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, I want this so bad.
Well, the problem I have is it's like twice the size of the Razor Crest.
Is it that big too?
Is huge. It is
You're
huge.
only making me want it more right now. Like
it's enormous, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that Razor Crest. Let me see if they've got I saw the comparison the other day. Let me see, HasLab.
My wife is gonna kill me if I pull the trigger and get it, but it might happen.
I mean, sometimes you gotta ask for forgiveness.
How does this work too? Like, because the deadline is like what, the 6th? You could still go in on it after that, right?
No. If you're not in by the 6th, you're out.
That's not fair.
It's just the way it is. So you've got to commit before. If it doesn't make its numbers, then it doesn't get made. And if you're not in, you're out.
Wouldn't you
And
think if it made its numbers and there's more potential to sell it though? Like they're just keeping it limited series basically?
they keep it limited, and that's when the numbers then on the resale value start to climb through the roof, like Jabba's sail barge, right? That thing's
Put on full court press and see if I can get this deal done.
yeah. So this is the HasLab.
Look at that! You could just get to hang out like in there.
Oh, it's fantastic, right? It's just the amount of detail in it and the things that they've updated to it, and they will continue to update. There's rumors of what's going to happen if they hit 20,000. They hit 20,000, they're going to throw in some extra. There's Zeb. I saw a comparison of it against the Razor Crest. Oh, look here.
Closing on my house the 8th now, so I can't just whip out the credit card and get it. I have to like be responsible.
There's Ezra and Kanan fighting on the deck. You even get to Phantom 2 with Chopper, like we just saw in episode 2.
That was my one nitpick with this. Like the Phantom just seems way too small.
I don't know. I mean,
it's supposed to be way bigger. Like you fit 2 people sitting in it.
There's get the whole Ghost crew hanging out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw somewhere where they did a comparison again. There we go. You can see it's in U.S. and metric measurements. 2 feet, 2 feet across.
Can you like hang it from like strings off the ceiling?
It's just so big. Yeah, let's see.
I might have to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. You get the carded figures. Let me see. I saw HasLab Ghost.
I mean, if you get that and then you get the figures in their packages, are you taking them out?
No.
How do you do that though?
Ghost. HasLab Ghost, because I still got the ones with that came with the Razor Crest. Size compare to Razor Crest.
You think that's easily going to double in value too?
Well, so far the here it is. Here we go. Somebody did the size comparison. There's the Razor Crest and there's the Ghost side by side. Razor Crest is 20 inches, 50 centimeters. The Ghost is 28, 71 centimeters. Length 30, 34 and a half. Height 10 to 13. You can see them side by side there. Man. Just massive.
This is torturing my soul. Like,
look at it compared to the Falcon.
I need it. Like,
the Falcon. Yeah, Falcon 23. This 28. 31. 34. 9. 13. It's more massive than the Falcon. It's unbelievable. It's yeah. It's a big deal.
It's crazy.
It's going to be fantastic. And then the thing is, like you mentioned, if you don't get in, you're out.
That's
so
not fair.
we know that the Ghost is in Rise of Skywalker. So might the Ghost be in Mandalorian season 4? Might the Ghost be in the Dave Filoni movie? Might the Ghost be like in lots of iconic content, Star Wars content coming up? Yeah. And what happens after the fact if you're like, man, I need myself one of them Ghosts. Let me go out to eBay. Oh, $1,250? No. And then you're like, I could have had it for $5. Man, $500 seems like a really good deal about now.
Can't figure this out.
It's seller. Hey, I'm actually saving this money. If I don't buy it now, it'll cost twice that much later. This is the best deal I can get. I got to take it. $500. That's.
Are you giving one of these away too? I mean, you gave away the $800 Boba Fett thing.
I'm giving away. Yes, I'm giving away a Ghost. I've already bought in with Star Wars Santa with my business account. I've got one ordered. the question I have, I'm with you. What about for me? What about for Brian? What about for this guy? Does this guy need a ghost?
I got jealous giving away Funkos. You're giving away this huge stuff. Like
I'm giving away a ghost to one of our members, but that's that's more than a year away.
Is that how long it'll take to be made?
Yeah. I can't remember when its release date is.
If it's in that new Filoni movie too, like forget about it. It's gonna be
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it'll be the value is going to go up because it'll be in Rebels. It's already in a movie, but barely, and then all these stuff.
That's how I have to pitch it. It's an investment.
Yeah. Santa needs to get
this family's future.
I don't know where I would put it. That's part of my problem. As it is right now, I've got the Razor Crest here, taking up more than the entire top of a bookshelf. And then I've got the Falcon on the floor here. I've got a Snowspeeder on the floor there. I've got an X-wing and a TIE fighter on the floor here. Like I'm running out of space. Where am I going to put this stuff? Oh, there's Ducky Momo. 25 months of membership. Think all the shipping you'll save by giving the ghost to me. That's true, Ducky. I could just drive over and meet Ducky near. In fact, I'll bet you if Ducky won it, I could probably meet him like in Columbus, Ohio. He'll probably drive all the way to Columbus, Ohio to pick that thing up.
Yeah, but you know what, Ducky? Like, when is enough? Like, when are you going to be done winning everything that is put out? Like, like the first 3 prediction games, Ducky, you just mailed it in, won every single one.
He owned us all. Yeah, all of it. Keep it in the box, let it accumulate value. I've got a ghost. I've got a Razor Crest in the original shipping box. That's inside. The box. The original box is inside the shipping box.
I can't see. That's the thing. I can't buy this and not take it out of the box. That's impossible.
That's why I bought 3 Razor Crests. I bought 3 Razor Crests so that and I ended up selling one to X-wing. And then I've still got one in the back room, unopened, letting it accumulate value. And then I got the one that I opened. And the one I opened, I will not open the card. The carded figures,
yeah,
those aren't getting opened ever. Let's see. Yeah, I've got them put away. I don't even have them here in the drawer.
I'll be like a little kid again. I'll be like setting this up. I'll build its own shelf on the wall. Or I'll like get like the strings and hang it up from the ceiling.
Yeah.
High enough where my kids can't get it, and they'll find a way to get it. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad idea.
Oh, look. Dale's up in the ante. He'll drive to my house, Ducky. That's a better deal than driving to Columbus even, or all the way over to Pittsburgh. We've got folks that are nearby. Somebody up in Erie, Pennsylvania. That's not too far away. I've vacationed up there.
Hey, isn't that guy's name Josh?
No, Josh doesn't hang out with me. Anyway, there's a story. I planned vacation to go visit him. We talked about it. We chatted about it. I sent texts to him, and he says, "Oh, meet me. Pick some place near." He gave me a location. Go here, go there, and I did the whole thing. I show up there, and I get there on the day, and I'm like, "Okay, we're here at the thing. We're hanging out. Whenever you get here, it'll be fine. We're just chilling out at the park." He's like, "Oh, that's too far. I can't go there."
He's like, let me know where you're gonna be, so I can not be there.
But that was it. That was it. That was exactly it. It's like when the church people show up and knock on your door. You're like, "Oh, come back Tuesday," and nobody's there Tuesday. Yeah, no. Yeah. Josh set me up. So no, that's yeah. Yeah, Trinity did a big rant about it. Yeah, it was great. So overall, as a series, if you were put it on a 10-point scale, could you do that?
Right now, I'm I go like 8-ish.
8-ish.
But I think it's gonna be a lot better. Like we're setting things up right now.
I'm with you. I'm about an 8-ish.
Like I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be mad if somebody's like 7.5. I think it's pretty fair right now. It's not nuts. That second episode was actually, I think Nikki's actually right. That second episode is probably the best one. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Like just.
And I'll say this. I'll say if you take episode 3 and 4 and put them together, they're probably going to be better.
Yeah.
And that's what really, that's why I knocked it down a point. I think they ended it. I get why they ended it, but 3 and 4 together seems like it's one story. From what you can just anticipate, right? Balin's standing there at the Stonehenge place. We see in the previews that Ahsoka's going to fight him at the Stonehenge place. We even saw Hera lands there at the Stonehenge place. We know all that's happening. We've seen it.
Which that doesn't even make sense though, because they're past that place now, right? So it's like I'm confused.
No, they're not past that place. That's where they are.
Oh shit! Am I way off there? I thought they just went there to figure out where they're going. So they're like up in space above that, right? Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, they're there. And when Ahsoka and Sabine land in the forest, it's there.
Okay.
It's that planet. Yeah, that's exactly where they are. And the Eye of Sion is in orbit above there. So, gotcha. And that's the Space Whales migration.
It's hard going through life being me sometimes.
Look, you got things going on. I'm aware of some of it. You got things going on. But at that point, though, we've got, we know all that's getting ready to happen. We've seen the battle in the woods between Sabine and, what's her name? Shin.
Yeah.
And we've seen Ahsoka fighting with Marok. And we've seen Ahsoka fighting with Balin. Like, we've seen all of that. We know all of it's going to happen there. So it's definitely episode 4. And I think Nikki kind of touched base on it again. When it's over, nobody will be talking about episode 3. Only in context with episode 4, I think. Because there really should have been one.
Really talk about is how like Ahsoka definitely borrowed some of Rocket's space boots just to stay on that shit, the gravity boots.
Yeah. And who is Morok? Well, we shall find out. I think Morok is Morok.
I have this feeling that, I mean, unfortunately, because of what happened with Ray Stevenson, I feel like his days are like numbered. I think Shin's gonna go just full dark side, and he's gonna be in her path. Like that's kind of what I feel like.
Yeah, and now kicks the trash can. I think Morok is Morok, but Morok could also be an adaptation of Starkiller. He could be that, except it's not Starkiller anymore. It's Morok, and he's just Morok. And then Sabine will kill Shin. There's another thing that I saw in the trailers that I just kind of completely forgot about, and then I saw in the unused footage. There's a video out there that's just a compilation of unused footage straight through. There's a scene with Sabine wearing her Mando helmet, firing Mando weapons at Shin. We also see Sabine like lightsaber dueling with Shin, and we don't know the order there, but I forgot about doing the Mando battle with Shin. And Mandalorian versus Jedi that's an old EU thing. Mm-hmm. People should be excited about seeing a Mandalorian fight a Shin, if you want to call her Jedi or whatever, a Force user. Right?
Rogue Jedi. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them. So that's a thing. So, hey, I'm going to let you go. I see Trev in the back room, so I'm going to bring Trev in. But thanks for joining. It's been a fun discussion, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye. All right. Hey, there's Trev.
Hey, what's shaking? Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, you shaved.
Yeah, I did.
Look at you.
I had to start fresh.
Yeah, you took about 10 years off.
Maybe.
Look like a young man.
Yeah. I'm starting fresh. I just felt like, go ahead.
It's all good. So where are you on episode 3?
Uh, I really enjoyed it. Actually, I enjoyed it. Like I don't necessarily like I said in the chat a little bit ago. I think if you watch episode 1 to 4 probably together as a chunk, and episode 5 to 8 as a chunk, it's probably gonna play better.
Yep.
Like for the pacing wise, just like because it's the whole thing is just kind of. I don't know if I like the overall flow of the show so far. Just like I said, pacing wise and everything else. But I mean, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Let me throw something at you that I was arguing with Jason Ward yesterday about. We were having a little DM feud. He thinks that this should not have been made as a series. That this
should have been a movie.
Movie or movies. I hear myself.
Yeah, sorry, I turned something on.
No, it's okay. As 1 or 2, maybe 3 movies, rather than as a series. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 2 movies probably would have worked good, like Ahsoka 1, Ahsoka 2, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would have been. Yeah, because you have the lead up with Balin, because Balin might die in episode 4 here, right? You get that feeling? Like I get that feeling that he's probably going to die in this episode.
Yeah, I'm worried about it only because I hate to see the character die.
Yeah,
but you might be right. Yeah,
I hear you, but like that's so you like, and to me, if it was 2 movies, that's a good ending for it, right? Balin dies but Morgan Elsbeth escapes to the new galaxy, right, and leaving Ahsoka and Ahsoka Sabine left wondering how to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then that would be a good ending for a movie, right? So.
Yeah, I think so. And
go ahead.
No, that's what Jason was arguing. Is that they could have trimmed it, fixed some of the pacing stuff by making it a movie, where it feels like doing these as series, they feel more liberty to be peppering in extra stuff or slowing down the pace. Just let them sit for too long.
Yeah, but saying that, no one's really happy with anything with Star Wars, kind of like with no matter what they do. Like, it's not, like I said, I like the material they're covering, but like I said, who knows if would it be better as a movie? Maybe, but maybe this is the best version of it right here, right? So
yeah, that was my argument. Is I was arguing with Jason. I wasn't having it. Like, no, you go away. Shush. I'm happy with it being a series, and my concern, and I've seen people kind of going there, that if what's the biggest problem is they're missing the blockbuster movies. They want the big important movie, and my concern is some of these stories are not that.
Yeah. They're not big. I hear you. The story isn't big enough to be a movie.
Or not the big blockbuster.
And saying that, and how much money they're going to spend on it. Like, it's not. It's like, is it good enough to spend $100 million on as a movie? Sure. It's not good enough to spend $200 million or more on it. You know.
Well, and that's what they're doing with their budget as a series, and I think that's
budgets are out of control right now, right? For all of Disney stuff, all of everything, like. All the reported budgets, anyway, for whatever the report, even if they're going back through reshoots and doing extra, whatever on all their projects, like all their projects, it's to the point of ridiculousness right now, right? Like, it's so.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that it's hard to argue against, but it's also a fear, right?
But it would look, but saying that, what are the optics if they spend $200 million on a movie and it doesn't do well, right?
Yeah,
I know they've released numbers like the whatever Samba numbers, the whatever numbers Disney released, but no one really has access to the numbers except Disney, right? Like the real numbers. Like, let's say, like how many subscribers that if Disney Plus has 100 million subscribers, say, I don't know off the top of my head what they have, but how many of those 100 million clicked on the first episode of Ahsoka?
Right. I think there's like at least 2 or 3 stats we need.
Yeah.
We need to know. The one that they gave is a good one. Like how many minutes were watched of it as a whole, and how long is it? You divide that, and you get up with.
Yeah, but they should just release the minutes. Just how many minutes have we watched? Like, don't even bother.
Yeah, it's tough
You know
though,
what I mean?
right? It's tough.
But that's what Netflix does. Netflix just releases how many minutes were watched, right?
No, Disney borrowed this from Netflix. Right?
No, Netflix just releases how many minutes were watched.
Okay.
They release that information.
Well, that's why I said I think there's like 3 metrics they need to have. The one they had is a good one. Like how many people watched it all the way through versus how many people clicked on it, watched a minute, and clicked off. Like if they said,
but even
we had
something though. But that's something, right? Like
that's why I think that's a second number.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need to know how many people clicked. Like 100 million people clicked on it and then clicked off, or and then 40 million people watched it all the way through. And this is how many watch minutes we have in total. I think those 3 numbers together tell you a story that then allow you to look at that and then look at Netflix and look at Max
or whatever.
And if all of them were to report like those 3 numbers, you could start to then understand what's going on.
Yeah, because when you're leaving it to everybody's own devices and everybody's creating their own narratives about what these numbers mean, like when someone reports like I said, like the Den of Nerds, Josh, or whatever, reports that like Sambo only had like last week was reporting Sambo only 1.2 million. That's lower than Mando 3. That's lower than and whatever, in Boba Fett. But take the show as a whole after, let's say, 2 months. Like after the whole show airs, 2 months. How many minutes are watched then? How many people watched it then? How many because it's content that's always going to be there. Like that's the whole. Like I understand. Like I'm sure media, like these companies want the big social media, or like the like the presence in that first week. Hey, we did like the opening weekend box office kind of numbers, right? Like they say, this is good optics for the show. It'll be further down the line, like it'll bring in more people hopefully. But this isn't a movie, or it's not the way TV used to be. Like where you had to watch it like when they make an appointment viewing, you had to watch that night. Otherwise, you weren't watching it for a while, right? Like an old like even the original Game of Thrones, right? Like before streaming existed, if you didn't watch it that Sunday night or tape it or whatever, or TiVo it back in the day or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you weren't watching it until they released it on DVD or Blu-ray, whatever, VHS back in the day, or if they ever even did that, right? So that's why those ratings meant more, I think, than they, and like now I feel like it doesn't matter as much on streaming. Like it doesn't. And so when people are crafting narratives saying this isn't good, this is like a doom and gloom thing, I don't even think that really, I personally, to me, like the numbers don't really mean anything because people can go back and watch it for whenever they want to. They have this service. They don't, you know what I mean? Like it's
you bring up another thing that's part of the picture is, so if I watch it on my TV and then I come and watch it on my computer the next day, and then I stream it on my phone while I'm waiting for the bus to pick me up or whatever, right? Like I've watched it 3 times. That's just one viewer.
Yeah.
But I've watched it 3 times. That's 3 views.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people are doing that. They watch it 1, 2, 3 times, especially content creators who are then going down and breaking it out and taking little bits.
Well, and that's when I said earlier about like what percentage of the whatever amount of subscribers Disney Plus has when that episode dropped clicked on the episode to watch it.
Right.
Like how many accounts?
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like these and I think people have been fairly fair.
Not including repeat clicks. Just as long as you clicked it once or more.
I would like to see. Yeah, that's a really good point. Like 1 hour after it dropped, what are your watch minutes?
Yeah.
What are your distinct views? Because I can't watch it 3 times in the first hour. I can watch it once.
That's a good point too. Yeah, like
right. And so how many people clicked and watched it like right off the bat? There's all this kind of stuff. And when they come out and say, well, 14 million views, it was number one on the platform. I don't doubt that. Even Samba, when they reported the 1.2 million, whatever.
Yeah.
That's of a fraction of their audience. Even that number of the overall worldwide audience, that number still reflects a very strong number.
Because it's the way that's the way Nielsen used to do it, right? Like when you're looking at a rating, it's the percentage of people watching that of their total audience that they're capturing, right?
Exactly, of their population, right? Yeah. And so that's a strong number. 1.2 million in Samba is still a strong number compared to other stuff going on.
What's the total amount of people? What is Samba like? How many people use Samba?
I think they said something like 20 million people.
So 1.2 million would be like 5%, right? Like 5-ish
something
percent.
Like that. Yeah, like I have a 5 audience rating, and that what that how that equates to, something like that.
Yeah.
But the 14 million that Disney reported, and that they said, hey, this is number one on the platform. You read Samba's numbers, I still believe that it was probably number one on the platform for the week.
What's 20 million times like? I'm just trying to think, like, because there's that 14 million is probably just like, it's if you can extrapolate the 20 million Samba to how many subscribers there are on Disney Plus, if that number correlates.
Oh, if it's still 5% of Disney Pluses, that's a good question. And then, but 14 million, great. Well, we can know Samba, like we know what Samba's numbers are for Ahsoka, for Obi-Wan, for Book of Boba Fett, for Mando, for like we have Samba numbers across all these things, and they're reporting all of them. So even though it's only 20 million people in their whole population, let's say, we have that same number for all the things. Disney Plus gives us 14 million for Ahsoka, but okay, great. Now
has Samba always been 20 million?
I think it fluctuates in that range.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like that's when Mando season 1 came out. Was Samba at 20 million? I doubt it was at 20 million then.
Well, and it's more than that. Like,
you know what I mean? So like maybe the rating would have been if 2 million people watched Mando season 1, and there was only like 10 million people using
Samba. Like, you know what I mean? Well, more than that, but like we're in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
So were you going to the movie theater? Were you going out to the park? Were you taking a walk down the mall? Were you going like nobody was doing any of that? Like you were stuck with nothing to do. And what do you got else to do? Oh, there's this show on a streaming service I can get hold of, and I can let my kids watch all the Disney movies while we're all trapped here in this house looking at each other. Yeah. And then once that relaxes, now I can go back out and I can play on my soccer team, and I can
way more options to do so.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I think it's natural that number is like contracting, but still like. Like you're saying, anybody can craft any narrative they want from a number.
Yeah.
And it's really tough. Hey, I see Mike Porter in the chat. We got a Mike Porter non-Star Wars dad joke. Let me throw this out here real quick. Since I see Mike Porter. How do you greet a horse? It's a non-Star Wars. How do you greet a horse? What do you say? Hey!
I was going to say, I say nay. But
nay. I was thinking of nay jokes as well, but that one works. Yeah. So says Sam says I'm just an engineer. The analytics are probably complicated to determine if it's profitable bringing in subs. That's the other part. Like, so what was the budget? What are the subscribers? Do the subscribers support the budget? All of this is very tough, very, very rough to put in. And the industry as a whole is so new. It's so hard to.
And what are Disney's like? What is Disney really happy with, or Lucas, whatever? Like, what is Disney happy with for viewer wise? Like, are they happy with the 14 million, or would have they been happy with like 5 million? You know, do we really know? Like, what are their expectations?
Or were they looking for 20?
Yeah, like I mean? Like,
we don't know. And it's the same with the High Republic novels, right? They report that, and they're like, nobody is reading it. Well, did they expect 10,000 and they got 50,000? or I don't know. We don't have insight.
Yeah,
it's tough. And so all I know is like most of the Star Wars content creators and Star Wars fans that are participating in the chat and videos seem to be mostly positive over Ahsoka as a whole.
Yeah, I agree.
There are nitpicks here and there. There's like, oh, that episode 3 had some things I didn't like, or this was predictable, or whatever, right? Like Nikki. But at the same time, overall, they're like, yeah, this is better Star Wars. And when you get like Theory out there with his subscriber base being so high on it, just that word of mouth, that social media,
the outreach.
Yeah, it's going to have a positive impact over time, and I think just from what we've heard and the rumors and what's coming, it's just going to increase over the second half of the season, and it's going to build to this big crescendo, and I think it's going to be great. But
I mean, I agree. Like I said, like I'm sure next week's episode I think is probably going to be good because we're going to get, multiple lightsaber fights that are hopefully better choreographed than the first episode. And I imagine they will be. Like I can't see. I see the Ahsoka Baylan one probably being the best one. Even though I don't know, like the Shin, like so does Ahsoka's probably gonna have to beat Maruk or Merrick or whatever you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Before beating Baylan, and then Shin is fighting Sabine. I don't know if you guys talked about it. Do you think Shin dies, or do you think I think Baylan dies? Like I said, I think Baylan dies in this next episode. That's my prediction. I don't know if Shin dies though.
Good question.
Maybe it should be on your trivia.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a good one. Are they going to die? Baylan and or Shin die? I don't know. I don't want them to. That's my own personal.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah. Like, obviously, Ray Stevenson can't continue the character, but
right. Yeah. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
My stomach is growling. It's going to be on the show here real soon. But I hate to cut you off short, but I got a meeting with my manager in 15 minutes, and I got to grab some lunch. So, but
I just got a meeting with his manager.
Yeah. Well, my dad loves saying, "Look, I'm Santa's dad. I used to whip his butt when he was a kid." So I'm like, well, there you go.
All right, buddy. Well,
but thanks for joining, Trev. I always appreciate it.
All right, have a great day.
We'll catch you later. All right, take care. You guys, thanks for being here today. Thanks for hanging out with us all this time. And please do all the things, like, the share, the do, the this, the that, the other thing. Do all those things. That'd be great. Appreciate you being here. I've got to run, and we will be back tomorrow, hopefully, for Star Wars Week News Week in Review, and we'll have a guest on here. Maybe Bespin will join us, or Jason, or Star Wars Meg, or we always have Rob Sketchcraft available too. So we'll find somebody. We'll talk about the news of the week. We'll talk about these numbers a little bit more. I'm hoping to get Bespin. He reached out to me the other day. I hope to get Bespin on here. He's really good with the numbers to break it down for us and talk about it in more detail. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out again. And I will, Mike. Thank you for that. Yeah, thanks. You guys have a wonderful day. And until next time, my friends, may the force be with you always. And Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.